Well, so a couple days ago, I technically finished Monster Hunter Rise, and well, this is still fresh on my mind still, but like, it was just not what I would expect. Before I go into any detail, I just wanted to let you know that, of course, there's going to be spoilers that I'm going to be talking about in terms of the final boss and just the events that happen after defeating the final boss. The story is leading up to the arrival of the Wind Serpent Ibushi and then the Thunder Serpent Narwa. So they were basically just the ones behind the rampages, apparently. I don't know how, but like, yeah, it should have been like, honestly, it should have been like, they should have brought back Gormagala. They should have brought back Gormagala 100%. Like, it doesn't make sense how they can make the monsters rampage, but they do. They're the only ones that can kind of like talk, but like they talk to each other because they're like technically husband and wife, and like they're connected in a way, so they like communicate with each other. So even like fighting them, okay, so like fighting Ibushi was, well, fighting both of them was super fucking easy. I'll say Naruto was a lot easier than Ibushi, because at least Ibushi fight was like, it led up to a rampage quest, and so you had to fight those monsters to fight him. But at least like his attacks were a lot more, I'll say Ibushi was a lot more annoying, just because he would just shoot a shit ton of attacks at you. Like at this point you can easily cheese it. For example, I just set up like 2 machine cannons and I would just go swap back and forth. Like I would have like the auto ballistas and auto cannons and stuff like that, but I would literally just swap between the two machine cannons and just continuously just shoot at him. If he comes at me and he gets like the thing low, I just swap to the next one, just go back and forth. And it was just easy like that. He's gone. There was no like strife or I guess difficulty. And then Narwa as well. Narwa was a lot more easier because like everything was just so laid out. I'm not complaining. I don't want to sound like I'm nagging, but like I'm just saying, like for them to be like kind of the up and coming threat and stuff like that just kind of seems, I don't know what the right word is. It was like underwhelming just because of how easy it was. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like their weapons and armors look amazing. But the moment you defeat Nora, she does like this dramatic ass cutscene, by the way, where like she just like flies around being like, "Oh, I'm defeated." She falls down like she falls to like the ground, creating like a hole, and what was it? And like appearing that she's dead. So to me, I thought that this was going to be like something like Monster Hunter World, where Xeno'jiiva would just like Xeno'jiiva died, but then it came back as Safi'jiiva, and I was like, oh, okay, is it going to like probably like transform or something like that? No, she just died. Well, not really. She dramatically like faked her death, and like you can still carve like her scales that she drops, but like that's it. And right after the cutscene, while you're all celebrating, like you see Hinoa and Minoto, like just they're connected as Ibushi and Narwa, and they're like talking as them, like saying that like, oh, we'll come back together again, we'll get our offspring will destroy it all, lightning and thunder, and well, lightning and wind and stuff like that. So it did add a good twist. I was like, oh, okay, so they're still alive. I mean, of course he's still alive, like, cause Ibushi literally fucking ran away the moment you defeat him, and then Arwa just literally pummels to the ground. Like, I mean, it was interesting because it's like, oh, I mean, like you fight him again, but I'm guessing the actual final boss now is gonna be the offspring. But then after that cutscene, it's just, they're like, oh man, we gotta go find them and go defeat them and stuff like that, and that's the cutscene ends, and you're just back in the hub, and nothing really happens. And so I'm just sitting there like, okay, so what's next? I'm just walking around just like talking to people because they say like, oh, congrats, but like don't worry, we got another fight prepared. So I'm like, alright, what do I talk to? It's literally nothing. Just air. It got to the point where I was just curious. I'm like, is that it? Like, I just did not know what to do. So I literally just like went to Google, typed in like Monster Hunter Rise ending, just to see if I was missing something. and this is like the first video I saw. I clicked on it, and the guy just went through like basically everything that I just went through, and but what he did mention was that Monster Hunter. Well, he did mention that Monster Hunter Rise is not technically finished, so I was like, okay. So we got Apex Rathalos like last week or 2 weeks ago, and Camillus as well. But like Camillus is going to be like the third Elder Dragon in like the entire game, cause the other two were just like, or of course yeah, Ibushi and Nara, but they were kind of just like, I don't know, yeah. Like I'm just gonna push them to the side because I'm like they're okay. So all that's supposed to happen like in the end of April, and then like they say that the new ending is like to be dated. So I'm just like sitting here, and like I was looking through like the YouTube comments as well, and there were some people being pissed or like saying that like, oh, they shouldn't have released the game if it was incomplete. And in a way, like I can see that because it is technically a waste of $60, because like this can be like a new trend of games where they just release uncompleted and then they just update as they go, and it could be a thing to accept, but it also can just be a way to just completely steal your money, because there will be a game that comes out that's going to be like overhyped as hell but then incomplete, Cyberpunk, but well, it's not really incomplete, it was just shitty. But I mean, honestly, in my opinion, like I've enjoyed Monster Hunter Rise. I've enjoyed every bit of it. Like to me, it was worth the $60 to buy it, and like to play it throughout its current endpoint was a blast. And I still play it. Like it's been like as I'm saying this, like I had this video idea in my head for like a couple days, like literally like 1 or 2 days. But the entire game is fun. I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to make videos on it. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. But yeah, see ya.